Yeah, yeah. It's really good at filtering out the S sounds.
Yeah.
Because my old microphone had a real big problem with that, even using a de-esser, and this one like is just mwah. It's so expensive, but it's also so worth it.
That is nice.
But you know what isn't a third of the price is episode 39 of the Halcyon Frequency podcast. Now I'm blind and I'm hosting this episode. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of Steam demos. FG Squared is also here. How are you?
Hi. Tired. It's Friday. It's been a long week, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk about all of the games.
Yeah, a lot of the games. Also here is 2D Kiri. How are you?
Hello. I just read the news and I'm very sad. I don't know if we want to talk about stuff that just happened on the news.
Oh, what happened?
But Robbie Coltrane died. He played Hagrid.
Oh.
I'm just very sad right now. I'm sorry. I'm doing good otherwise.
Oh, wow.
That is sad.
I just saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, whoa. But he's not old, is he? Or was that old?
I don't know.
I think. Oh no, actually,
72.
well,
sorry,
well.
you just derailed that.
No, it's
we
fine.
have to cut this out.
No, I mean,
No, wait, just sorry.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, with the big beard, he kind of
Yeah.
doesn't look like it as much. Jeez, that's a bummer.
Surprising. Yeah, that is a bummer. Yeah.
Oh.
Although to be fair, him in person without the beard and him with the beard look like a different person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and it's just like pictures of him next to him with the beard. I think about death in a weird way, and it's just kind of like, it's not about the fact that the person passed away. It's the fact of what did that person get to do? That person got a hell of a life.
Oh no, I can I just talk about one little funny thing right now?
Sure.
For some reason, I'm on the Wikipedia page, and there's people messing about with it. And for some reason, right now it says he died on the 13th of October, 2012.
Yeah, I saw that for a split second, and I was like, I think that's wrong.
Yeah, of course, there's people messing.
I hope that when I die, I'm famous enough that like 10 different people screw up my Wikipedia page.
Oh, now it's 14th of October, 2020.
That's how you know
We're
what
getting
happened
closer.
recently is because people are actively messing with the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that is sad though. Yeah, that sucks.
Rest in peace. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
wonderful portrayal of that character.
Great actor.
Agreed, 100%. Yeah.
But that aside, the main theme of this podcast today is we're going to be talking about a whole lot of demos. But, you know, we still got to do kind of our arbitrary intro section where we hang out for a little bit and talk about, you know, kind of the ways our week's been. So, FG, how have you been? I feel like it's like been a moment since you and me spoke. I listened to you a whole bunch last week just because I edited another episode which is going up next week. But could you talk a little bit about that episode that like has been pre-recorded that's going to go up next week, maybe kind of as a teaser?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it has been a minute because like the last 2 times I was on the podcast, I recorded with Arch and not you.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So yeah, next week, slight teaser, we have a special episode coming out with Arch, Jess, and me, and we're talking all about ADHD and gaming and streaming and professional and personal challenges that we faced. I think it's a really good episode. Like it was like we could have talked for like 4 hours more, and we're gladly gonna do a part 2 if people are interested. So definitely listen in next week and tell us what you thought and if you'd like us to do more episodes about that, because there's lots more to talk about.
I have a personal rating system for our episodes of this podcast just because I edit all of them or most of them, and my rating system is, okay, how many cuts did I need to make? How long did it take me to edit it? If I can edit it faster than the recording time is, then it's a good episode because I can just be like, yep, that's relevant. Yep, that's relevant. Yep, that's relevant. Yep, that's relevant. And just like cut out like the bits where people talk over each other, and that's super easy to do. And there was almost no editing in that episode. It was a very quick edit.
Nice.
Awesome.
Considering they talked for like almost 2 hours without taking a break. Like it was a good episode. So
We had lots to talk about.
Looking forward to hearing what the audience has to think about that. But Kiri, sad news aside, how's your last couple weeks been?
Oh wow, so busy. Good.
Busy.
Like insanely good and cool and new opportunities and things. For example, Faloin, who was guest last week, if I'm not mistaken, started coaching me.
That's correct.
Because he has the podcast, Active Cast, and I need more exercise. He's a coach. I need the exercise. It's a perfect fit. Win-win. We're making content out of that. So he started coaching me, and I have a lot to think about now. What are my goals? What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? But I'm very excited about it. That's super cool. I was on radio in Austria, FM4 radio station.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to know how that went.
Yeah, that was really cool. So it was a very spontaneous thing. On Friday, somebody reached out and said, hey, do you want to be on radio on Tuesday? And it's like the one day at that exact time where I don't have time. So I shuffled things around to be on radio. It was super cool. So I went to the studio, and it was like the actual recording room had tables in the middle with you would face the middle basically, and every table had like 3 microphones. Lots of monitors as well, but I didn't need to look at any of those. And there was one producer taking care of starting the songs and adding jingles and stuff, who also told us, 10 more seconds, and then we're on air. The host, and then there was me. And we were talking about, are we online too much or not? And basically I was the person saying, I'm online all the time. It's awesome. And then they had another person there via phone call who was absolutely not online at all. It was a bit weird, to be honest. It's like, it was such
Via phone call? Yep, this checks out.
Because it's super funny.
Who uses phones?
The host actually said, it was so difficult to find somebody else who's not online a lot, because how do you reach those people? Pretty funny. Anyway, so we had about an hour, and then one listener also called in and, gave their 2 cents. It was interesting. It was basically a stream, but less stressful because there is no camera. You as a guest don't have to look at the monitor, and there's no chat. It's like the easiest thing ever.
You heard it here first. Radio, the easiest thing ever.
I said as
radio,
a guest,
child's play.
because the host, for him, it was a bit more stressful, obviously, because he had to time everything right and then make sure, that song is a bit too long. We've talked too much. We have to now pick a shorter song, and that kind of thing. But for me as a guest, it was awesome.
It sounds like an awesome experience. I'm super.
It was.
Yeah.
They might invite me back too, because they like me. I've worked with FM4 before, so chances are good they might invite me again, which would be nice. And then I also had a proper professional photo shoot for the first time ever, which was really nice. So I'm doing all the things. I'm saying yes to all the opportunities. I don't have much time, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You made it on the podcast, though.
Yeah, I've been working for almost 12 hours straight.
I had a professional photo shoot done once. It was to get a photo of myself, which I gave to my grandma because she wanted a nice photo of me. And there was no nice photos of me.
That's so nice.
So framed up photos of myself and gave them to my grandparents. Both my grandmas. But when I did that, the person that I got to do it was just a friend of mine, and I paid her in a 6-pack of beer.
Why not?
I think the last time I had nice photos taken of me was for my senior year graduation photos in the US, so 20 years ago.
I was gonna say like uni.
No, high school. God, university. Nobody cares about university graduation.
I don't know. Let's go get a job, idiot. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't even get my diploma for the first 7 months after getting my bachelor's degree.
Okay, now that's crazy.
Well, so the story was totally off topic, but whatever. I was studying archaeology, but in a two subject system. So you had to take 2 subjects that you majored in, because you couldn't just do just archaeology for whatever reason. But then, while I was at uni, they actually created that course, and then I switched to it. But because they had only created it about 3 semesters before, so 1.5 years before I graduated, it wasn't actually entered in the system yet properly. So it existed, and I graduated, but like they couldn't certify that I graduated.
That is so funny.
That took another half year. It wasn't a big problem because I just did a master's at the same university, so they just were like, yeah, whatever, fine, you're good to go. But like, yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I'm looking at this document of scheduling that we've got here and going, man, there's a lot of demos on this list. So I think I'm going to take us to a real quick break. And when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about a whole whack ton of demos. And then after that, we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing this week. So we'll be back right after this.
This episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast is brought to you by
Suey.
Follow or Else.
You heard it here first.
It's cyber cute, not cyberpunk.
You understand? Cute, not punk.
Potions are definitely a soup.
That's wrong. Cut.
Hey, wait, I'm not done yet.
And we're back with the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, episode 39. We're about to turn 40. Jeez. I'm Blind, and I'm still hosting, and I'm with 2D Kiri and FG Squared. We're here to talk about a big old wall of demos. So, FG, your name is higher in the list. Pick a demo. Tell us about it.
Pick a demo. Oh, can I start? Do I start with my absolute favorite?
I'd say either start at the top or start at the bottom.
Yeah. So I only listed my favorites because I played 27 demos, I think. 27 is what is on my list. I would say 75% of what I played was good. 25% was crap. So I'm not going to talk about any that were crap, basically. I picked my favorite, and my actual favorite one is a game called Dredge, which is coming out next week, and I believe we already talked about it on last week's episode, right?
Yeah, but we can have a quick re-impression, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's comes out in 2023. It's by Black Sword Games, and basically what it is a fishing game. It's an exploration fishing game.
That one.
But with a sinister story and background, and there's like all sorts of like Lovecraftian sinister stuff going on in the background, and like when you go out at night fishing, you start losing like sanity and all that sort of stuff, and there's like people have gone missing, and there's like mutated fish that you can find and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's super intriguing, and the gameplay mechanics of fishing was also really fun. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most, and I need it like right now in my life, and it's so good. It was so good.
How's controlling the boat with simulation sickness? Like, does it wobble on the waves or something?
You can turn that off.
Okay.
You can turn the wave wobble off. It's really good. You can also make it so that the camera doesn't move at all when you're moving the boat, so it just stays in one spot.
Yeah.
Like, like for me, I had no problems playing it. It had various accessibility settings. Also, I want to say stuff like colorblind settings and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was really good. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. It was good, and it did not get motion sick at all.
Cool.
Or simulation sick. Yeah. I really, really liked it. It was so good. Oh.
I'm going to be really honest about that demo. I played about 10 minutes of it, and I really, really, really like the theme. I think it's really cool. And I'm generally really, really, really good with horror. But there's something about deep oceans that just triggers the ever-living hell out of my ability to tolerate, like, primal horror, and there's some things in this game that just make me go nope.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, if you don't like the deep ocean,
which is funny because like I can play Amnesia and just like laugh hysterically, but like there's something about that game that's like, this is terrifying. I do want to play it, but like I think I'm gonna wait until it's all done and out, and then just play it on stream and like have scary alerts or something and just spook the crap out of me.
Yeah, I'm so playing this when this comes out. It was so good. Oh, I loved it.
I'm just looking. The demo is still available, and I haven't tried it, so I might just do that.
Do it, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. No, I really, really liked it.
The one silly thing I will say about the Steam Next Fest, which is where the vast majority of these demos are from, I probably should have mentioned that earlier. The one thing that like perplexes me a little bit about it is like it is the opportunity to feature all of these demos, but half of these demos just remain available afterwards.
Yeah, but I think it's because like what helps is like it gets promoted, and a lot of content creators have picked up on it now, so it's like really good for them.
Yeah, like
for them as in like indie devs.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, the amount of emails we receive before Next Fest now with, "Hey, do you want early access to our demo?"
No, I don't.
I feel the
also
exact
really
same
don't
way.
know.
But we do have a lot of things to talk about here today. So, Kiri, can you pick a demo from your?
Yes, I can.
list?
I want to talk about Floodland, which was super, super fun. It's I'd say it's a colony sim, a survival game with really nice graphics. It looks a bit artsy. It's very polished already. I think it's coming out super soon. Let me double check.
November 15th.
Yeah,
next month.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's coming out very soon. Polished. It's also going to be a full release, so no early access, and you can definitely see that already. Like that played like a really good finished game. It was fun. It's explore, run around, scavenge stuff. You need to manage your resources because I almost hardlocked myself. Yeah, survive. It's cool.
Yeah, I played it too, and I also really enjoyed it. The one thing is though, on 3x speed, the waves were atrocious for simulation sickness. Holy moly, they were so bad.
Yeah, I think so. I had a dev in my chat, and I told them. So I hope they're going to add accessibility settings because I told them about the waves and then the fog. The fog wasn't so bad, like the fog of war, but it still moves. Like I think I turned down the quality of it because the lower the quality, the less it moves, basically.
Less particle effects or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, hopefully we're going to get a couple more accessibility settings, but overall, like gameplay wise, that was awesome.
Yeah, that one looks neat. Like everything about the visuals of it, it kind of it looks like a much more color. Like I don't know why it reminds me of like the 11-bit style of Town Builder, where it's like let's make this look really pretty, and by 11-bit I mean like Frostpunk specifically. It's like let's make this look really, really artsy. It's kind of like the artsy style of like Town Builder, and it's nice to see those because you know we get so many that are just like. It's all about the mechanics and it doesn't matter how it looks. And I know that I'm guilty of playing all of those games, but it's nice to see pretty ones.
And you know why you have that association? Because it's made by ex 11-bit studio people.
That checks out. I mean, Vile Monarch is a weird collective of people too. Like they have quite a lot of output because there's quite a few people working there. So.
Yeah, so just to quickly go there. So the people who founded Vile Monarch were the co-creators of This War of Mine at 11-bit Studio. And then they've got a whole bunch of other Polish devs that worked on like Dying Light, Hard West, and all that sort of stuff. So it's I'm expecting to see good things out of Vile Monarch in the future. Like I mean, this is already like really good, but after this as well, because they have a lot of devs in there that know their stuff.
So once again, that was Floodland. Kiri.
Yes.
Pull another one out of your hat.
Okay. Storyteller. I don't know if I found it or if somebody recommended it to me. I can't remember right now, but I thought, okay, it looks cute. Let's just play it. I wasn't really expecting anything, but Storyteller is a gem. It surprised me so much. So what it is, I mean, the name says it. It's a 2D game. You have a book in front of you, and then you pick the stories of the different chapters, and then you have different stories in those chapters. It's like a comic panel. Is that it? So empty comic book page, basically. You have these panels, and then you have characters available. And you have a background available, and you get a prompt. You get the title of the story. And then you need to make that happen with the characters in the prompt or the characters in the background. And then you can swap them out and see what happens if, in the first panel, that... What do we got? Give me a prompt.
I'm looking at the screenshots right now. So queen is deceived into marriage.
Perfect. Right. And then you have a queen, for example. You have what was it? Like a knight. And then you had a crocodile suit or something. It was really funny. And then you can make this happen. And I loved it. You can be creative. It's a bit of a puzzle, but nothing too difficult. There are a handful of stories right now, but obviously there are going to be more by the end of it. And once you have all of this, there's also a joke ending for most of the stories that you can then also complete. And that's just hilarious. So if you haven't discovered enough and you only went for the most straightforward way to finish that story to get to the goal, then the joke ones are going to be hilarious. Super good. Highly recommend it.
This is another Annapurna Interactive published title, and I'm just looking through their previous catalog and going, I think I've played like 80% of the games they've released, with the exception of like Neon White and Pathless. And I didn't finish 12 minutes, but like literally every other game that they've put out, I've at least tried or finished. There's just something about that studio and their incredible, or publisher, I suppose, and their incredible eye for very artsy games. I know like they had that runaway hit with Stray this past year, but even that's like not really in their usual wheelhouse. Like their games are very much like, this is going to be a like 2 to 4 hour thing. It's going to be really pretty and it's going to be very, very well written, is generally the kind of shtick that they have, with the exception of 12 minutes, which is bad. Don't even try. But like the vast majority of their stuff is like, even when it misses, it's interesting. And I'm very keen on
like
this.
Storyteller is just so creative. And then you can be even more creative by switching characters around, or, moving a panel, further back, or whatever, and then see what happens.
Sounds like a nightmare.
And they just
to develop.
Probably, and the characters then react to that. So if you poison the drink first, and then in the next panel you have somebody drink it, they die. If you don't poison the drink, they just drink it and look happy. It's really funny.
All right, FG, your turn.
Yeah, something a little bit different is the Van Gam. Gam? What? The Van Gam. No, the Van Game. The Van Game. So the Van Game is, it's like, I think it takes place in 2019. It's 2019. COVID didn't happen.
Before the apocalypse.
Yeah, you and your friends, or maybe 2020, but basically it literally says like COVID didn't happen. You and your friends go on one last road trip across the US to visit all 13 national parks, I think it is. And what it is basically...
Is this Oregon Trail?
It is 20-somethings in a car, but mixed with Oregon Trail. It's amazing.
Okay, how do we all die of, like, some horrible disease?
Fun fact, you can actually get dysentery in the Van Game.
Great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great nod. No, it's just like, so it's like a road trip game. But the funny thing is, obviously there's events, like there's like a person stranded on the side of a road, and you can help them and that sort of stuff. And when you get to like a park, you can like find out stuff about the park. There's like a really like 2-3 page long like just info about the park, and then you get like a little stamp, and then you move on. And then when you get to the cities, because you have to obviously have food, and you have to have fuel, and you have to have first aid kits, and you have to have extra wheels for your car, extra tires for your car, because they keep flying out of the window randomly, because apparently we're not closing the window. And when you get to the town, you can do jobs. And those are like mini games, and they're like really wacky mini games. They're not simulation sickness friendly at all. Yeah, unfortunately, they're super not. Like they're so bad, but they're also hilarious. So the one that's my favorite is like you have like an obstacle course with blocks, and you have a van, and then there's another car, and what you have to do is you have to draw the wheels, and then they put the wheels on the car, and then it goes. But because it's an obstacle course, you can't just have wheels. You have to do like, I don't know, like weird hook shaped things or like long straight tires, and it just the van that just bounces around. The problem is the camera focuses on the van, so it just bounces the entire time. It's so bad. So if they just like take the camera away and like not have it bounce on the van, it would be great. But I don't know, like the whole combination was just so, I don't know, it was just really hilarious and really fun. Like there's like, it's like one of those games where I'm like, I want to watch somebody play this, because I think like watching somebody play this makes it even better, or like play it together with a chat. It was really good, and it's got a really cool pixel art as well. It's not simulation sickness friendly at all, though.
I'm looking at the description of this on Steam, and it says, key features, 14 beautiful national parks to explore, 12 fun-filled illnesses, including everyone's favorite, dysentery, 7 challenging mini-games, manage your money, food, gas, and more, keep your crew happy or they might abandon the van life, and upgrade and customize your van, your home away from home, and collect stamps in your passport to learn maybe a little more. I wonder if would you consider this game educational, FG?
What they tell you about the national parks is indeed educational. Like they tell you, you know, like size, who founded it, how long it's been founded, and like, you know, like I don't know. We went to the one in Appalachia, and it was like it covers these amounts of square miles, and most of it is like this type of forest, and yeah, that sort of stuff.
Huh.
So it has like so the info about the national parks is taken directly either from their website or from the Wikipedia article, and it links to those in the game as well to find out more. So yeah, it is in part definitely educational, but also really hilarious.
Interesting.
It was something it was just something different. It was actually really fun to play.
So that's the van game. Good theme. I'm curious to see how that one turns out.
Me too, yeah.
Kiri, it's your turn. Pick something.
Yeah, I only have one that counts as my favorite, but that would be best to do as a last demo, actually.
I mean, if you want to do worsts, we could do worsts.
I could do a
I'm
worst.
not sure if we want to do worsts. Okay.
Yeah, do a worst now. How about that?
I can do a worst.
Do your worst.
And the reason why it's a worst is because I have simulation sickness, but I rage quit that within minutes. It's called Miniland, and it looks really cute. I just need to look it up now because I rage quit so quickly. I don't really know what you're doing in the game. It's a sandbox survival, you know, crafting, building, farming kind of game. It looks really cute. The art style reminds a bit of Forager, but you load the game, and there's a title screen. And there are, like, it's raining objects, huge objects, continuously over the whole monitor. So you look at it and you already want to vomit. Perfect. You start the game, you play it, the mouse cursor, the camera is locked to the mouse cursor. So,
of course, yeah.
Perfect, right? You're going to look around and then you just want to vomit some more. You can't disable screen shake, and there is screen shake when you use your tool. Every single
So you're constantly
time.
clicking.
And then I rage quit. And it's just, I cannot do this. I know not everybody has simulation sickness. And I suppose there's something to be said for, you know, there's screen shake in a game because it's artistic choice, or the camera is fixed on the cursor because it makes the game, I don't know, more playable, easier, whatever. But hear me out. This is a demo supposed to represent your game. You want to sell your game as a developer. Why the hell do you not add accessibility options in a demo? It's bad. It's just absolutely bad.
Yeah. Looking at this, crap, what was the name of it? What was the name of that Heroes of Might and Magic sort of Heroes Hour?
Yeah.
That was a thing, yes.
Everything is moving like that. And that made me really motion sick. And I don't generally get motion sick in games.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like I know it's a demo and the game is not finished. But also,
Fix your demo.
How are you supposed to sell a game when it's not accessible? And it's not just me, right? So many people from my chat said that, they can't watch this. It's just horrible. It's not just a bit of screen shake. It's like every time you use your axe to cut down a tree, the pickaxe to cut down to pick rocks or whatever. It's just it made me so mad.
I think really what it is it is not the most well-known issue. So the problem is you have solo developers that just develop a game and go, oh, this isn't a problem for me, right? Like this morning I was watching a live stream on the Hyperstrange channel of their new game that they just announced. And it's a tower defense, like bullet hell, essentially. And because of the color palette of that game, it, for me, would be completely unplayable, most likely, because of the color palette versus like the color of the enemies and the color of the bullets. So it's just like, this is an initial demo that like literally only the person who's streaming it has. It's called Other War, if people want to look it up.
Oh, I tried that.
But it's like, it's, for me, virtual, like, not a possibility of me being able to play it. And it's just like, the developer was in the chat and it's just like, hey, can we get outlines around the bullets that maybe like we could change the color of based on the background so you can actually see stuff? And they're like, yeah. And it's like, that's what demos are for. You're supposed to give feedback and like ask for features and fix features. It's like, Manor Lords has that thing where every single time you build something, screen shakes for some unknowable reason.
Yeah.
Which was
so
mild. I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out.
Oh, I noticed. And then you can turn it off, but it's bugged. So it still shakes when you place a road or a market thingy or anything that's just a big thing with connected points.
So it's like different things affect different people differently.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's like, so that's why demos exist, is so that developers that can't afford QA or don't have any QA, or their QA is like their partner and their friend, it's not exactly the biggest test pool, right? So
I know.
you have to work with that.
I know.
That's largely what these demos are for. So giving feedback's a positive thing, even if it sounds like it hurts. FG, do you want to pull the next one?
Sure. I'll do one more of the ones that I liked, and then I'll do my worst, and then Kiri can wrap it up. I'd
Awesome.
say, I think that's a good idea.
I like
so
that.
I have two on here, but I'm gonna pick only one. But which one am I gonna pick?
The left one.
Flip a coin.
The left one. Well, no, you know what? I'm not gonna pick Potionomics because that's coming out next week. So I'll talk about that some other time. So Forever
Shoutouts to
Skies.
Potionomics.
Yeah, which is, another one of those potion alchemy games. Anyways, Forever Skies. So Forever Skies is the one thing that really was annoying about the demo is it's like super time limited. Like you have like 20 minutes, I think, from the starting time. And it's first person post-apocalyptic survival game. Comes out sometime this year, so not so far away. And basically Earth has like been messed up and you're here to find something. And instead of like a submarine in Subnautica, you have an airship. And you build your base on the airship and you fly around in the sky, and you like fly basically from skyscraper to skyscraper to get resources and find blueprints and find out what the heck happened, and you make your airship bigger and all that sort of stuff. So it's it's kind of Subnautica in the sky, and it was I don't know, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, but it was a bit the demo was too short because it was like you had the intro and then it's like 20 minutes go, so you couldn't really explore much and you couldn't really build too much. But it did what a demo is supposed to kind of do. It made me want to play more of the game, so I guess it succeeded in that regard, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So no, that was fun. I enjoyed that one. It's just like it even has it's just a TTS voice, right? The Subnautica TTS voice. So the one that talks to you when when you come back to the ship and it says welcome aboard, Captain. It's just the same voice. And I don't know, that kind of set the tone, and I'm
Welcome
intrigued.
home.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Doing
sort of.
this again.
I don't think it's not the same company. So I think it's because that's just it's not a TTS voice that they made, right? So it's just one that you can buy. So, but it set the tone, and I don't know. I'm intrigued. And looking forward to playing that when it comes out later this year, or maybe when it comes out in full, because it's going to come out in early access. So I might skip early access and then just play the full release. Because I'm a little bit tired of early access games.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that when playing the demos, because we just touched upon that earlier, that small devs might not have QA, right? As a streamer, and then especially with demos, I feel like a QA test all the time, and I don't want to. I mean, it was fine for the couple of days for the demos, but like, I want to play a finished game, please.
I'll be totally honest. This is the reason I only talked about like 2 demos last week, because it's like those are the ones I really want to play. The rest of them, I'll wait until they're done.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it is definitely a fun change of pace, at least for a brief period of time. So
agreed.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was fun.
It's always exciting to have Steam Next Fest happen. But I guess I did threaten the one that I didn't enjoy. So, and this hurts me. It hurts me so much.
Oh no.
But it's Deluvian Winds. So, Deluvian Winds is a survival strategy game, I guess is the best way to say it. So you have a beautiful hand-drawn cartoon game with lots of different animals in them.
Oh, this looks like Rimworld.
Yeah, and the main character is an otter, so it's like freaking made for me.
Yeah.
And basically what you do is I guess the polar ice caps have melted basically, and you manage your little base, and it's run based. So it's not like you start forever, but basically it's run based, and you win once you hit the required amount of stars. We'll talk about how to get stars in a way. And the day is like sort of divided into different segments, because you will have people visiting you. They'll stay with you for a while. They'll do some jobs for you while they're there, and then they move on. And the way you get stars is by fulfilling their dreams. And maybe this is just something that happened in the demo, but most of their dreams was like, I want to eat this for dinner. I want to be really happy. I want to work with somebody in this room. Not even in this room, in just a room. I want to make 30 wood planks while I'm here. Like, it was like really simple stuff. And so you start your day. And then you have to click the next button to get to the next setting, where you can then assign your people. You can strategize what you need to make, because you need to make food. There are different types of food. You have to get different types of resources to build things. So you assign your people to, I don't know, work in the greenhouse, go fish, work and make produce like grubs, basically find grubs, make wood planks, smelt stuff, etc., etc. Then you click next. They do that, and then the next one is then dinner. You have to decide how much people get to eat for dinner on what you're gonna cook, because certain meals technically affect how you produce resources afterwards, or how many resources. Like, for example, like, I don't know, if you feed X to X type of animal, they'll make 20% more planks or something if they work in the sawmill next day or whatever. And then you click that button, and then everybody goes to sleep. And then rinse and repeat. And the one challenge is, every once in a while, the weather, there will be storms, and there's like big tidal waves coming in, tsunamis basically. So you need to shore up your lower rooms, because you can build up, like there's Z levels, you build up, there's 3 different levels, and depending on how high the wave is, you have to like make sure that stuff is shored up. Basically what you need to do for that is you just need to have wood planks and a person working on shoring the room up, and then you're good to go. And the problem is, you have about a minute of gameplay where you assign your people to strategize which resources you want to produce. And then the rest of the day is partially skippable cutscenes. And that's it. Rinse, repeat. And while you just fulfill their dreams. Like, I want to work with somebody in this room. Okay, you're going to work with this person in the greenhouse today. Dream done. 3 stars got. Next. And then they leave after 4 days and you get new people. And it was, I don't know, it was so disappointing. Because the art is so gorgeous and it looks so awesome. And I was hoping for so much. But you never needed, I never built anything more than the greenhouse, the fish, the mealworm farm, and the sawmill. Because you didn't even need any of the higher tier resources in the game.
That's
because
strange.
there's like a bajillion resources. But I never needed them. Ever. And I just clicked from day to day. I put already, like, they already have a button in the game where it's like, skip most of the cutscenes. Just get through the decision phases. There are still cutscenes you can't skip. Or animations that you can't skip. But, I don't know. There was, like, no gameplay in the game.
I actually like the resource management. But yeah, there was a lot of, next. And then you wait for new people to arrive and new people come and then it's just, oh yeah, you want to eat that?
Same thing
okay,
again.
have this. Yeah, it was the same thing again.
Yeah.
So I think it can be really challenging with the weather and keeping that flame alive. But
I never had problems. Oh yeah, true. That's a good point that you bring up though. There's a lighthouse and you need to make sure that the light is on all the time because if it goes out, you lose.
yeah, I think that's what's supposed to be
challenge. Yeah, but I never had problems. Like my flame was like mostly max.
Yeah.
Even
Same.
during storms because I had so much wood. So I don't know. I don't know. Like it's not. It doesn't have a release date yet, so I'm hoping it's pretty early and they're gonna put more into it and make it more complicated. Because yeah, I think what's odd because they describe it as a colony sim or a city builder, and it doesn't feel like that because everybody is transient except the main person.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
Like,
say
if
it's just a
people
research
would
management
just-
game. Survival research management. Resource.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't play that long,
if-
so
I think-
I enjoyed it. But now that you mentioned all of that, yeah, I can see that it just gets boring because, it's always the same.
I finished. I promised to myself that I would finish a run.
Okay.
And do it like I win because I was like, basically it's like, please don't let this be it. Please don't let this be it. I really want it to be good.
Yeah.
So I played. I'm just looking up right now. How long did I play? I played. Oh gosh, where do I have it? Where do I have it? It didn't even take me that long. I think it was like 25 stars or something to get. And it took me like I can't find it. But like it didn't even take me that long to do. Oh wait, here's it. 1 hour and 20 minutes. And a lot of that was just next. Oh, a sign. Next. So yeah, that was disappointing because I was like, otters! Yay! Pretty odd! Yay! Gameplay. Ooh.
Well, what if I told you that the Dwarf Fortress map I've been playing has undead otters that have a habit of scaring my children, and then we stamp them into pieces, and then the pieces come back to life, so you have like undead otter head and undead otter paw and undead otter torso crawling into your fortress, and then everybody just steps on them.
That sounds like Dwarf Fortress. That sounds amazing. Yep. Sounds good.
The undead rattlesnakes are terrifying, though, to be honest.
To be fair, rattlesnakes are terrifying, just straight up.
What if they're undead, though? It's like a skelefied rattlesnake.
Do they still produce poison
Yes.
when they're undead?
Yes.
Then they're terrifying, yes.
My arbitrary Dwarf Fortress minute is now complete. Kiri, do you want to wrap up this section?
Totally. I want to wrap it up. So the last of my favorites is It's a Wrap. And wait, you didn't know?
No,
I thought that was on
wasn't paying that much
purpose.
attention to the names of the game.
Oh, well, that's why I
happened that
wanted
way.
to do it as the last demo. But did you know, FG?
I did,
Okay,
yeah.
'cause-
That's why
yeah.
I maybe also...
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the game is called It's a Wrap. We don't have a release date for it yet. It's super unique. So you're in Hollywood, you're the producer of movies, and you get a script at the start of a level. Just, I don't know, a page of, there's this character, this character, they're talking together, and you have to cross this bridge, for example. And then it's basically like you're looking at a video editing software. You have different objects on the timeline. You have the character, which you can move. Then you have, for example, a rock falling. You can't move that. That's going to happen at that certain time. And then when you move the slider of where you are currently, then, things are going to move according to how they are presented on the timeline, or when they are presented on the timeline, basically. And it's a bit of a puzzle game. It's 2D, so it's kind of like it's not really a platformer because you don't really do the jumping or anything, but no, wait, you do. It is a 2D platformer puzzle game, and the puzzle is making it so that you don't die, basically, that you make it from the left to the right by moving the objects on the timeline in the video editing software. And then you press action, and then you have to control that character, the hero, main person, and hopefully survive all of it. It's super unique, it's really funny, and it's got so many references to movies in it.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was.
This reminds me of a more action-oriented version of the movies. If either of you ever played that.
No.
I did not know.
The movies is a Peter Molyneux game, and I think when he was with Lionhead Studios, I'm actually taking a real quick peek. Yeah, Lionhead Studios, published by Activision of all things. But the movies was it ran in the same engine as The Sims, so it was like this 3D thing, and you had kind of this film crew thing, and they would tell you, we need a movie that includes these actors with these scenes, and then it was kind of like a management game, and if you did the management game proper and kept the actors happy, then they would put on a good performance, and then you'd have to script out the movie and then shoot the movie, and also keep everybody happy and market your movies and everything, and then release the movie, and then you get a little bit of this is how much money the movie made and how many people saw it, and this is the tale for the VHS release and the DVD release and all that. But this seems like a much more action-oriented version of that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not the management stuff. It's really only getting that one scene shot. And it's only individual scenes that you have to shoot, and then you just move things on the timeline and hope that it works. And then you realize, it doesn't. Got to try it again.
Do you get a recorded replay when you complete the scene?
Yeah, you do.
Cool. Can you watch outtakes?
I mean, you watch it while it happens. I don't think
I
it
just want to see
saves
all the
it in a
failures in
collection.
real time.
I don't know if it does that. That would be so funny.
That would be so good, though, yeah.
Is that or just run all of the seams simultaneously and do kind of the Super Meat Boy thing where they all just splat at the same time, but just all of the different stuff. That would be fun. This seems neat. This seems like a bit of fun.
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of fun with it.
Well, that's a wrap. Not really.
It's a wrap.
We're done with the demos that was a wrap. Anyway. I'm gonna take us to a real quick break here. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the games that we've been playing this week. How's that sound?
Perfect.
I'm ready.
We'll be back right after this.
Hi, Belanar here. Thanks for listening to our podcast again. I'm not on the episode this week. I'll be again later some of the other weeks. But if you want to see and hear more of me, you can find me on twitch.tv/Belanar, where I do all my gaming content. Also on youtube.com/BelanarTV for all the reviews and everything. And also I've been doing a lot of miniature stuff lately. All kinds of Warhammer and painting and modeling and so on. And you can find those on Rikus Minis on YouTube. And same also on the Instagram if you're interested. But anyways, back to the episode and enjoy listening for the rest of it.
And we're back with the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, episode 39. Like I mentioned back at the beginning, we're kind of skipping news today because there's just games. So we just talked about a whole bunch of demos, and now we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing this week. So a little game came out recently, published by Frontier Foundry, and Haemont Games, I think is how you say it. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But Stranded Alien Dawn, which is a game that I completely missed, was coming out, which I think was on the PC gaming show back at whatever the heck E3 was this past year. So, FG, do you want to tell us a little bit about this lovely little colony builder from Frontier Foundry?
Yeah, sure. So, Stranded Alien Dawn came out on the 12th. Is by Haemont Games, who made Tropico 3 and 4 and Surviving Mars. Just to, give a little bit of example as to why the UI in the game might feel familiar if you've played Surviving Mars. It is not a game like Surviving Mars. So, yes, it is. You have to survive on an alien planet, but it is a colony management game, colony management sim. So it's it's not gonna escape this comparison. It's 3D Rimworld,
Yeah.
with 3D models and a 3D world, right? It's a colony sim in space. You have to survive on an alien planet. You crash land, and you have to survive. And your ultimate goal is actually to get off the planet. But instead of 2D top down, it is 3D. Like isometric. Like you can zoom in really, really close. The textures actually look really decent for a game like that. It is an early access. It's going to be an early access only for a short while though, because the game itself is actually already pretty like done in terms of like optimization. Like it runs really well. I've had a couple of bugs after playing for about 20 hours. We've noticed a couple of smaller bugs. And I've had one crash where I was trying to set up an expedition and the autosave kicked in. And then the game was just like, I'm going to try to divide by 0 now. And crashed. Literally, that was the error, that it tried to divide by 0. So that was funny. But yeah, it's a 3D colony management sim. And it's probably the best 3D one that I've ever played. Out of the ones that I've attempted to go 3D, like Go Medieval, Stonehearth, all of those games. What's the other one that came around the time where Stonehearth came out? That then Nomoria.
Nomoria. Okay, yeah. So Nomoria is isometric, and if you're going to count Nomoria, then you also have to count Dwarf Fortress, which is also 3D and is by far the best.
Well. It's 3D in that it has X, Y, and Z layers, yes. It doesn't have 3D rendered models, though. That's what I meant when I say 3D.
Neither does Nomoria.
Fair enough.
Nomoria is a isometric game. Dwarf Fortress can be rendered in an isometric format.
Yes.
And there are renderers that will render it in isometric.
Yes, but not while you're playing live, though, right?
You can. It's just not optimal.
But it's not playable in that.
No, it's playable, but, like, you can. It's still just, I'm going to draw this line here and say that you can't call Nomoria 3D if you're going to not call Dwarf Fortress 3D.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But like just like out of all of the ones that have tried. Oh wait, no, I was thinking of a different one. I was not thinking of Nomoria.
You're not thinking of the Beaver City Builder, are you?
No, I'm not. I was thinking of something else, but I don't know what I was thinking of.
Because there's Going Medieval, there's
Stonehearth,
Colony Builder or whatever it is. There's
Yeah, there's several. Whatever. It doesn't actually matter which ones I'm thinking of. It's the best of the ones that I've played. And it's an early access, but mostly for system refinement, not for like gameplay optimization. Like I have a 1080 Ti and it ran like solid 60 all the way through, like with like everything cranked up to max. Like it runs really well. So it's just basically for like system feedback and like more integration of systems and that sort of stuff. There's already plenty of things to do. Because as I said, I've played for 20 hours now. My first colony died due to pneumonia. But the second colony, we're going strong. It needs some balance tweaking. Electronics are like ridiculously hard to get. until you get 3D printers. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it.
Colony
I've been
Survival
really,
is
really
the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
There's
that
also
existed.
Castle Story. Yeah,
There's so many.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's so many. But like, I mean, yes, those are a lot of more like fantasy themed, and this is spacey. But like, it's the best one that I've played so far. Has it like a bajillion tons of replayability? Depends on where it goes from here. Because right now, like the Rimworld influence is very clearly seen. Like very clearly seen. But so you know. I've still been enjoying it though, and I've played it for like I've been playing it since Tuesday, Monday. I don't know. I've played like basically almost every day this week, so I don't know. I've been really enjoying it, even if it's if one wants to be mean and say it's just 3D Rimworld. But I'm curious to know what Kiri thinks about it.
I haven't played it as much as you have, but I've really, really liked it too. I mean, yes, it's kind of Rimworld, but I like it. So, I mean, not that I don't like Rimworld, but it's got unique things. For example, you crash on this planet and you don't know anything, which just makes sense because it's a new planet, right?
Yeah, true.
So you have to observe creatures, yes, but also, you know, what is this plant? And then you have to send somebody there and just study that plant for a while to gauge, is this edible? Is this poisonous? Is it, you know, what does it do? What can we do with it? How does it grow? And you can do that with everything. And I think that's really, really a cool mechanic.
Yep.
I also like that you have power circuits, but it's not going to break your brain. So you place your power generators, you place your power poles to connect everything together. And then you can have automation for a motion sensor, for example. And then just say, you know, this motion sensor is in that circuit, that generator or that tower is in that circuit as well. And then that's put together, automated. Super cool. I really like that. It's not too simple, but not too difficult. Yeah. Another thing I really liked was the different ways to defend. So you have turrets, you can make fences, you can make walls, you can shoot over fences. There are different gates that you will close behind you, and then gates that will just, you know, stay open, and you have to open and close it manually. That traps and everything, like it's really fun.
Yep.
It's super cool. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't get to go on expeditions and stuff, but I will play it again next week.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know because they haven't said anything, and I would really want to know if they are going to open it up to modding. Some people have said they doubt it because it does run de novo, but it runs de novo like where it doesn't impact gameplay, like it's actually implemented properly. And there's like no frame stuttering and all that sort of stuff. Like they actually know how to implement it so it doesn't like affect your gameplay and your FPS and whatnot. But then at the same time, they made Surviving Mars, right? And Surviving Mars had mods and modding. So I really hope that that's the thing for this, because I think like people will go crazy with mods for this as well.
The one question I do have about mods for this, though, is maybe the same problem that Surviving Mars has with mods, which is they have to render a 3D model. And the second you have to render a 3D model and more than just a sprite, modding becomes a lot more sparse.
It does.
Do you think it would have a big enough community to have crazy mods?
I think so. Like I mean, there is like, I mean, yes, Surviving Mars has been out for a long time by now, but there is a Surviving Moon total conversion mod now for Surviving Mars. I think it was for Surviving Mars. I want to say it was for Surviving Mars. Like,
I say that just because this has 160 reviews and has been out for 2 days, which isn't crazy. Like it's certainly not selling.
It flew on that. I think I don't know why or how. Like it flew under so many people's radars.
I didn't even know this came out until Bellinair was streaming it. I think the thing that I'll say about this game is they didn't do a very good job naming it. Like, what does Stranded Alien Dawn mean? Especially considering there's Stranded Deep on Steam. Like, if you just go to, like, Steam and type in Stranded, you get Stranded Deep, Stranded Nightmare, and Stranded Alien Dawn, and they all sound like they could theoretically be in the same franchise, and they're completely different games. Not to be confused with the Stranded series of games, which is a single developer-developed series that's existed since, like, 2003, that actually still has a lot of SEO on that, which Stranded Deep is allegedly a knockoff of. So it's like, I
get that. Yeah.
I wonder if it's partially just the naming and the marketability of said name.
I don't know. I just don't think there was like, I don't know.
It's hard to name video games.
It is hard to name video games, but like, I mean, I realized it was coming out when I got an email from Frontier about it, like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, on the 5th. So like 1.5 weeks ago. Like that's when I realized it came out. I hadn't seen anybody talk about it or anything like that. So I feel like it's kind of just it just flew under people's radar somehow. There was just no marketing behind it at all.
Yeah. I was also watching another podcast group actually watching the games, a PC games show live, which is where this was shown. And the initial trailer they had for it looked like Ark. Like that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Their trailer didn't look like a colony sim until like the last 2 seconds of the trailer, where they were all like, "Oh, okay, it's another Ark clone." And they were like talking over it, not paying attention. They're like, "Wait, hold on a second, that was interesting." And by that point, they'd forgotten the name of the game. So it's like, I do wonder if some of it was the marketing. Whereas something like Going Medieval sold everybody on the concept of what it was the second the trailer hits.
Yeah. No, I definitely, I remember that. I had already forgotten about the trailer, but like now that you're like actually like saying that and describing that, I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I watched this.
I mean, we're plugged into marketing emails, and I didn't know this game was coming out.
yeah, exactly. So, but like everybody that has seen it, like, and a lot of people have bought it, and they've like been enjoying it now.
Sure.
Like so I think it's just, it flew on a lot of people's radar, and hopefully it changes. Because I think there's something, like, as I said, it's like the most solid 3D colony sim.
At least at the beginning of early access.
Yeah, I mean, it is, as I said, this is early. It's going to be only in early access for half a year-ish. So it's for system refinement, but a lot of work has already gone into this, because basically HeavyMod hasn't done anything since Surviving Mars came out, right? And they sold it to Paradox in 2019.
Yeah, so I guess they've been working on this for probably 3-4 years.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got 2,400 concurrents. Like it's not doing terrible, but
it's going up. The number's going up. It was at 1,200 earlier today, so it's going up. So I think
fingers crossed.
It's going to be one of those.
I hope that game does well.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those word of mouth type things where it spreads, and then more content creators are going to pick it up.
Yeah.
Like every day that I've been streaming it, the directory has also been getting busier, so I think it's slowly picking up.
Well,
as well
that's good.
in that
That's
regard.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Maybe I need to try and get key for that. Maybe they already sent it to me and I missed it. I'm going to talk about Deadland real quickly. This is a game that I think currently has 2 reviews on Steam, and it was a game that I saw a couple screenshots of on the roguelikes subreddit, which is very much the traditional roguelikes subreddit. And this developer is basically talking about how, I'm a big fan of these games, and as I've been looking at making some, here's some sprites that I'm working on for my game. So I remember seeing those posts a while ago, and I think the roguelike devs subreddit as well. I saw their posts pop up a couple times. And then one day suddenly they were like, and it's out. And there was a post saying it was out, so I shot the dev a DM, and I was like, hey, just could I ask for a key? Because I see you're doing a key giveaway in the comments section. And they're like, well, I think I emailed you one a couple weeks ago. And I was like, really? And I searched through my email, and it landed in my spam. And I was like, yep, you did. Thank you. So I redeemed the game and took a look at it. And it's an interesting take on traditional roguelikes. it's kind of like a directional corridor with no load screens. So generally with roguelikes, you'll like, especially very traditional dungeon crawlers, it's top down, turn based, grid based, diagonal movements. You'll walk through areas until you fill out either a screen or like kind of a floor, and then you'll go down a set of stairs into a new floor. Well, instead of going down a set of stairs into a new floor, you are going from waking up in a laboratory in a weird post-apocalypse to trying to get to a cabin at the other side of the wasteland. So you're trying to get across the Deadlands, essentially. There's a large number of starting classes, and some of them are quite silly, including like a fireman, there's a hobo, there's a child, there's a weird green mutant thing. There's a patriot, there's a teacher, there's a person who can't see, and they all have different kind of absurd traits that they come with. So the child gets a massive speed boost whenever they eat sugar. The hobo can scavenge way better and gets stuff from every 7 monsters they kill. The camper heals when they don't move. The firemen can knock down things because they have an axe. But very quickly it gets into the kind of the like absurdist sort of stuff. So certain enemies have radiation, and they're radioactive enemies. They'll be like slimes or like these weird things with like glowing bubbles on their heads. And if you get hit by them, even if they miss you, you gain radiation. And when you gain 10 radiation, you get a mutation. And these are goofy as hell. And there'll be things like, you're a rat now, cheese heals you, good luck. Or it'll be like, you're now a werewolf thing, and you have a 1% chance every turn to go insane, turn into a werewolf, and run after the nearest thing and cut it up, but you get a massive attack bonus. Or you have a chance to blink and teleport forwards. You suddenly can't see. Suddenly you can see, but if it's daytime, you can't see. If it's nighttime, you can see. Now you heal when you're in the sunlight. Now you take damage when you're in the sunlight, that kind of stuff. And so as you're traveling along, the other thing that you'll find are what's called skill tomes, which take 160 turns to read, and you have to just click them 160 times or hold the button down for 160 turns. And then you can gain skills. So there's no experience, so there's no reason to actually kill enemies unless you're playing a type of character that is benefited from that. The whole point of the game is to just go left. By default, it's a little isometric game. You can shift the camera to straight top down. You can do kind of flat. You can angle it at any angle you want, and it's like perfectly locked. So there's no motion sickness issues with this game. But overall, as somebody who plays a lot of these games, I found it a little bit easy initially. I filmed my video for YouTube after about an hour of gameplay when I was just kind of figuring things out. And then I continued to play for another 3 hours. And I managed to get to the end. And you get a key when you get to the end, and then you're told to go back. And I was like, okay, this is pretty easy. And then I got back to the facility, and there's a door at the back of the facility, which you unlock with the key. Unlocked the key to go out into the... And then I realized, oh, now I'm actually in the Deadlands. And then the game gets really, 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 really hard. But it's... I don't know. It's a very underappreciated game right now. It's got nice pixel art. The abilities are surprising and fun. There's quite a good item variety. It's got fun management meters. You've got your hunger management and your health management, and certain things heal you and certain things hurt you, and some food will hurt your health but give you a lot of sustenance, or vice versa. Lots of consumables, fun enemy variety. There's some pretty amusing visual gags going on, like randomly becoming an animal is never going to stop being a little goofy. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and probably will play some more of it.
Sounds fun.
That's Deadland 4000.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it also has full keyboard control as well as mouse control. So the entire game is mouse driven if you want it to be.
Nice.
But on the topic of kind of amusing games, we talked about Stranded Alien Dawn a whole bit. So since we're kind of on the colony building feel, Kiri, do you want to talk to us about Stardeus?
Yes. How's that amusing?
I
thought you were going to go for the other game now. No. Okay. Right.
I feel like we should end on a high note.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Okay. So
high note? Yeah. See.
I do get it. the teasing, listeners are going to be like, what? So Stardeus also came out in early access. It's a like also as in like Stranded, Alien Dawn, and it's also a sci-fi survival colony sim. Although this is a space sci-fi, so you are in space on your ship, broken down ship actually.
And published by Paradox Arc.
Thank you.
Their new label.
And yeah, so I played the Kickstarter in August last year. That was very, very early. So it's definitely gotten better now. It has accessibility settings, which is really great because I remember talking to the dev last time I played it. So that was added and it's super great. So now you can disable the moving background and moving particles. Because usually with space games, I have the issue that there's always something moving. If you're in space, you've got stars and planets in the background rotating around you, or spaceship movement is usually really bad for me. But you can turn all of that off, which is great. The tutorial didn't get any better. So the game is so complex. It's insane. And the tutorial explains like the first step and that's it. And also the UI is absolutely unintuitive. You will take minutes, literal minutes in one window trying to find whatever you're looking for. It's not good. There is a search bar, which is cool. So you press tab, you open a search bar, and then you just type in whatever you're looking for, which makes placing down walls super easy because you press tab, type in wall, enter, and you have it selected. But quests, for example, you click on a quest and you get a pop-up window and you just don't know what to do. You just don't know because there's so much information there, and there are like 5 different highlighted things. Half of them are not important though, so I'm not sure why they're highlighted and in bold, and it's just not intuitive. I provided feedback again. I hope they're listening to that because my chat and I agreed on the UI definitely needing more work because it's so tedious to play it. You don't want a game that is complex to be tedious too.
So I was watching friend of the show, I think it's fair to say that, Northern Quarter playing this last night for about an hour. And one thing that I noticed right away in regards to your comments about the UI is radial menus, like those circular menus that show up. And I took one look at that and I was like, why the hell would they have that? And then I scrolled down on the Steam page just now and I go, oh, full controller support.
Right.
I think I found the problem with the UI.
Well, that's some of it. The radial menu is really nice for quick selecting tools like repair tool, haul tool, priority and stuff. But also building works that way. So you right click, you open the radial menu, then you move to build, you click, and then you have all the categories. So I have a category for special objects, for walls, for floors. So let's say you want a wall, you click on that, and then it opens up what kind of wall. I don't know, a basic one, a special one. If it's for floors, for example, you click on basic floor, and then you get different shapes. But it's like, there's so many clicks in that. It's just, and it's you don't have an overview of all of it because it's just hidden in so many different layers of that radial menu.
Yeah.
So that is not nice. And then just information is just all over the place.
I certainly don't envy any developer who's trying to make a game work both with a mouse and with a controller. And I think like this is something that actually spoke with a friend about, like not on stream or anything, just like in a voice call a couple months ago, about the Steam Deck specifically, which is like, that's a large market share. And if you're Steam Deck verified and you're compatible with controller and can work perfectly on a Steam Deck, that's a selling point actually right now for games, because there are people that are looking for new games to play in almost all genres that are Steam Deck verified. So when I look at a game like this and I go, okay, so you're just on Steam right now and just on PC right now, you're Steam Deck verified, but if you were to just show me the UI for this, I would think, oh, that's their console port. I wouldn't think that's what they're putting on PC. And when you focus so much on controller compatibility, it always makes mouse and keyboard control clunky.
Mm.
So
yeah, it feels like a bad mix of both of it.
Yeah,
it's not optimized for any of it. It's just there's a bit of mouse control, and then there's a bit of controller control, but it doesn't fit together.
Yeah, as far as tutorial stuff goes, I mean, early access, right? Like, I don't think like a game that's launching into early access needs a full tutorial.
No,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
like,
It's just very difficult.
But that does sound really clunky, and watching it looked clunky.
Yeah, it's got potential. Like it is just early access, so hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully they bash that one out.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I haven't played yet. I'm gonna probably play it on Monday.
Best of
But
luck.
like, thank you.
Play it with a controller.
You
Maybe it'll be better.
No, I'm good. But you like bringing, like, talking about it kind of brought those memories back. I think I had repressed those about the UI and how it was odd.
It's kind of crazy because like everybody's making these games right now, right? Like we're gonna have so much basis for comparison. Like even just in like it's a colony sim in a spaceship game, because like there's also the last Starship.
Yep.
Soon TM, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but Rimworld was originally supposed to be in a spaceship, and if you read Tynan's book, it talks about this, about how it was originally supposed to be in a spaceship, but the reason they decided to not put it in a spaceship was because it was too difficult to make it fun. And it was a very difficult thing for them to manage. And Space Haven, which is another one of these.
Yeah.
Have either of you played that in a while? Because that's still in
no,
early
it's been
access.
ages.
That was so. I've never been able to get into it.
I kind of want to try it again because it's had it came out May 2020, so it's had over 2 years of development now. So I kind of want to see where it's at some point in the maybe not the near future, but like next couple of months, unless Dwarf Fortress releases. But that was a game that like just felt shallow. Right, like early development of that, like the early game, like the spaceship building stuff was cool, but everything else about it felt shallow. And I remember talking with the developer before the game came out, saying that they were not going to have a lot of mechanics initially in early access because they were afraid that they would make a convoluted mess of a game instead of making a polished game. And I wonder if this developer has just gone with the exact opposite approach to that, where they're just like, yeah, throw everything in and we'll make it work in post. Versus
Maybe.
like, okay, let's not put all of our planned mechanics in and focus on gameplay.
Honestly, like, for me, I haven't played Stardeus yet, but like, I am just always reminded of like the one game that did get it really right when it came out, and then it was abandoned, and I feel
Starship
so
Theory?
bad. Starship Theory was so fun when it came out. It was so good. I sank like 120 hours into that game.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It was really fun because you could build really cool spaceships in it.
Yeah, you could, but I enjoyed parts of Starship Theory, but there was parts of it that were just like super, super random and that I didn't like. But yeah, I put like
some stuff was broken,
20
like
hours
broken.
in Starship Theory, and I'm looking at it right now. That game's
really
free now,
enjoyed.
by the way, because
It is,
it did
yeah,
get
because
abandoned,
it's
and it's
abandoned.
always going to be in
Yeah.
early access. But like, it is free. So
Yeah. Yeah.
try it. Basis for comparison.
Yep.
All right, FG, do you want to talk about building PCs?
Yeah, so PC Building Sim 2 has come out on Epic of all places. Like it's Epic Store exclusive. I need to actually check. Is it early access? Because I'm not sure actually. I don't think it's early access. Though there is like a feedback thing directly in the game for some reason. Yeah, it's PC Building Simulator. It's that. So the story is your uncle's shop, the one that you play in PC Building Sim 1, has burned down, but he has luckily another location. But that fire probably was insurance fraud, so your uncle leaves the country and leaves you with his orders, and you get to go from there, and you build PCs and fix them and repair them. I mean, it's more of the same, so if you enjoyed PC Building Sim 1, you'll enjoy this one too. It's obviously got the new upgraded stuff. Newer hardware, right? That's not in the first one because the first one is several years old by now. Really funny though, because you can already tell it's like super dated because Like they make this big thing about you getting a 3080 for your just starting PC that you have in the game, and it's like, yeah, 3080 was this expensive about half a year ago, but now nope. So I don't know, that's really funny. There's some stuff that's really odd in it. Like you can mod cases and you spray paint them, but you don't take anything out. You just take a spray can, like a rattle can, just spray it with all the components inside.
What?
And like I think everybody in chat, including me, we were just like dying because it's like, but then,
Yeah.
I know. But like the actual PC building is like PC building sim. Like it's the same thing. It's tried and true stuff. It's
Prettier and
fun.
looks
You do
better, I'm assuming?
It looks better. Yeah, it looks better. What I didn't quite like was like, so you can design your, obviously you have the shop. It's like a really rundown like shop that was closed for like 20 years or whatever, and you get that because your uncle had that left over. And then when you hit level 2, you get a tablet, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you can decorate, but all the decorations are free, so you can like just turn your super rundown shop into like this. Basically, we turned it into the set of Star Trek. Like you look that futuristic in the end, and it didn't cost you anything, so it felt like, I don't know, why not make this like part of the progression, like that you buy like those upgrades. It felt really odd. I only played for about 2 hours, so I didn't really start selling PCs yet. I was doing just repairs. But I mean, it's more PC building sim. So it's tried and true. It's updated, looks better. But
so there's a story mode. Like you have this shop and you repair PCs for others.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not like a big story, but like there's that whole thing. Like, so the way it works is you get like an email from somebody, and they're like, my PC is having like this problem, or it's like my friend keeps talking to me about how awesome their computer is, so I want a better graphics card than they have. They have a 970 and I want something better. And then they tell you like, my budget is this, and then you can be like, yeah, I'll take this job or not. Mm-hmm. And then they send their PC over, and then you just switch out the graphics card, and then you send it back, and you get money for that, right? So yeah. And some of the emails are really hilarious. Like there's some references in there and that sort of stuff. It's the very first PC you fix is for the Vulcan smithy in the forge. If you're Star Trek, you know what that means.
Right, I don't.
Or like you get the reference, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a sequel where I'm not sure the original game needed a sequel. Could have just been a big DLC expansion thing.
I was going to ask this. How much of this sequel exists because they wanted Epic money? Is that a mean take, or?
No. I mean, it is updated. It looks better, right? It does look better. And it has the new components and that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, that I think that's not a hot take. I feel like it's not a hot take, no. And like the first thing that you do as well, like when I said, as I said, like you install that graphics card, like of course it's also an EVGA graphics card, so everybody's like, oh no, we're EVGA. It's like,
I just installed an EVGA graphics card.
Yeah,
I just bought and installed a 3070.
Yeah.
It was cheap.
So I don't know, like, yeah, it's if you want more of the same, it's that, and it's fun, but it could have also just been a big updated expansion to the original game.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
But then at the same time, it's also not that expensive. It's like, I think £18 now. And if you're really into it, you can probably get more than 20 hours of entertainment out of this. Like if you're into like, building like super amazing PCs in the game and playing around with stuff and overclocking things and all that sort of stuff. Because you can do all of that, right? And you can like benchmark them and test them and do all sorts of crazy builds and whatnot and mod the cases and that sort of stuff. So if that's your jam, like,
drop the PC on the floor and lose a bunch of money and scream.
Yeah. So I mean, £18. It's like they didn't go overboard with the price, right? So
sure.
Yeah. But was it also
Stardeus,
necessary?
which is like $40 in Canada.
Yeah, Stardeus and Stranded Alien Dawn are quite.
Whoa.
They're both that price point.
Yep.
They're both.
Stranded
And-
is 33. Stardeus is 70 or 38, but it's
Wow.
42 after taxes.
I think in pounds it's the same price for both of them. I don't actually know. But yeah, they're both not. Yeah, now I'm wondering. Wait, so Stardeus is £26.99. That is.
Mhm.
So 27, and then Stranded is, I want to say cheaper than that, £24.99.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's also just because the Canadian dollar isn't worth as much. But like when I start looking
That's
at games,
true,
it's
yeah.
like that's $37.99. That's all of a sudden not cheap.
No, that is not cheap.
Like
That's
if
a lot of
a
money.
game is $20, like sometimes I'll just like say screw it and just buy it to stream. But
Yeah.
especially if I want to be super critical on it. But like when I look at a thing and it's like, man, yeah, that's like beyond impulse buy.
Yeah.
So,
They're pretty expensive, yeah.
but on the topic of good impulse buys, Kiri, do you want to talk about the funniest video game to come out this year?
Absolutely. Trombone Champ. You might have heard of it already. You might have seen funny clips and shorts of people playing it. It's a rhythm game, and you play a trombone. And I have to be honest, I don't think it's funny because it's a trombone, because it just sounds like Austrian folk music, and I'm used to it. But I've been told that the trombone is funny because in order to produce sounds, you slide the I don't know music, right? But you slide the instrument, so you don't press a button to produce that one tone, but you slide it. So if you are bad and you fail and you slide too much or too little, then you have the wrong tone, the wrong note. And that's funny. So
It's a giant slide whistle.
yeah, basically. So why I think the game is funny is because it's just super hard, and you have classical music played on a trombone. So that is funny. It's just fun gameplay. It's a rhythm game, and you know it's got music that you probably recognize, but then you play so badly because the game is difficult that you don't recognize it anymore. So it's funny. It's fun to play. Yeah, I don't laugh about the trombone sounds because that's just not funny to me. But overall, it's a good game. It's funny. I did it for a sub goal, actually.
So, true story. I played cello for almost 15 years and was in an orchestra. The brass was always directly behind the cellists. So to me, trombones aren't funny. They just simply make me deaf because I can't hear anything over them. That being said, trombones played badly are goofy as hell sounding. Same with trumpets played badly, except trumpets played badly just hurt, whereas trombones played badly just sound kind of amusing at a distance.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it is kind of a giant slide whistle. But I think part of this game's comedy comes from like the fact that it is a trombone, but it's also kind of not a trombone. Like it's kind of a weird, like almost trombone-esque sound. Like there's something about the sound in this game that like isn't quite a trombone. At least it doesn't sound like a trombone to me anyway, as somebody who played with them in an orchestra.
Right. Yeah, well, I wouldn't know.
It sounds like an almost trombone or like a weird synthesizer trombone.
Okay.
But
yeah.
combine that with just like the visuals and the on-screen stuff and like the gags that kind of come with the detuningness of it, it just ends up being audible comedy.
Yeah, it's also very silly, and it actually has jump scares, so it scared me too. But that's a bit more than just yeah. I got scared.
What?
I don't want to spoil it
That
for
was
people who
funny.
haven't seen it
Okay.
yet, but yeah, there was a jump scare.
I was watching your VOD of this, and you may have sold me, and I've added it to my New Year's shenanigans. 'Cause I play Getting Over It every New Year's, so I think I might just add this to the trash bucket.
Definitely, and it's doing great on Twitch because it's just funny for everybody, really.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games that's going to be evergreen for a while,
Yeah.
and people will be like, I need something goofy. So instead of like, it's like the new Goat Simulator, kind of.
Yeah. So I do this stupid thing because like just talking about trombone thing, trombone champ, because somebody said this today. So if somebody subbed to me for 5 years, right, 60 months, they get to pick a game for me to play.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, if nobody picks Trombone Champ in like 3 years, I will pick Trombone Champ because this is necessary. And I'm just like, no!
It does have accessibility settings though. You can remove the background, the moving background when you play a song.
That's good, yeah, because I definitely need that. I still don't know if I can play it for an entire stream though, because I think my eyes would just start like if you keep staring at a screen where stuff just keeps moving from like one side to the other.
You feel like you moving.
Yeah, your eyes start like
I wouldn't play it for too long.
Yeah.
Just do it. Make it like an hour sesh, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think that's pretty much everything for the day. Is there any honorable mentions or anything else we want to throw in here at last minute? Or
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I'm just making sure we haven't missed anything more than anything.
Nope. No,
all right,
I
then.
don't think so.
Then I'm going to say, if you liked this podcast, stick around because next week we have a special ADHD episode, which was pre-recorded, which we talked about at the beginning. And that episode's very good. And that'll be releasing next week at the same time as this one on Sundays. That's where you can find the Halcyon Frequency podcast. But before I do the necessary podcast plugging, I'm just going to say, Kiri, can you tell people who you are and where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, I'm a strategy indie game streamer on Twitch. I create content elsewhere too. You can find me on 2dkiri.com.
And FG?
Yeah, I'm FG Squared. You can virtually find me with that tag everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, except on Twitter. On Twitter, there is a sneaky underscore between the FG and the squared because there's somebody still sitting on that name. Grrr. But yeah, see you around the internet.
And I'm Blind. You can find me at BLINDIRL on pretty much all platforms. And as far as this podcast goes, if you want to find more episodes of this podcast, you can do that at halcyonfrequency.com or in any place that organic podcasts are harvested. And I just wanted to say a real quick thank you to everybody who has joined our Discord and asked us questions about the podcast in the past. And if you want to talk about the podcast, the Discord's probably the best place to do that. We have a little discussions room as well as a questions room. So I recommend you go over there if you would like to talk to us about that. If you want to help this podcast out, greatly appreciated our iTunes reviews. It's like pulling teeth to get them, but it's literally the only thing that tells iTunes, hey, you should promote this. I think we're a 5-star podcast, but frankly, any ratings help. Secondly, if you happen to be listening on a platform and you can't find the podcast, please just send me a DM and I will do my best to make it appear there. Of course, you can always find the new episodes at halcyonfrequency.com. Free for download on the website as well as links for places to subscribe. And I think that's pretty much everything, so I will just say, until next Sunday, don't change that dial. This is Halcyon Frequency, signing off.